Cheaters in Fortnite have existed ever since day one, with a range of hackers, teamers, and stream snipers. There's all kinds of cheaters, but it's what happens to these cheaters that makes all the difference. And today, we're covering the unusual and very controversial case of Damien Ziff. Previously a player for Rise Nation, Ziff had played professionally in the Fortnite Secret Skirmish, Blackheart Cup, Scallywag Cup, and Lux Cup before moving on to the World Cup qualifiers. The Fortnite World Cup is the biggest championship in Fortnite's history and is even one of the largest tournaments in the entirety of esports. With a prize pool totaling $30 million, the World Cup pits the absolute best of the best in the world against one another for millions and millions of dollars in cash prizes. There are currently 10 weeks of qualifying in which pros battle it out, with the top 6 players who gain the most amount of points in a limited number of games getting their golden ticket to the finals. The finals will be taking place in New York City from July 26th to 28th, and the player who comes out on top in the solo showdown will take home a personal prize of $3 million, with the player in last place taking home, wait for this one, $50,000 for last place. That's more than the grand prize at most tournaments. Because of that, even qualifying for the finals alone is a career milestone, an insane achievement which has pros constantly attempting to try to get their ticket. As of publishing this video, Tfue and Cloak have still not qualified for the duos competition, but Tfue himself has qualified twice for solos. It's going to be a very competitive number of weeks, guys. In week 3 of qualifiers, Ziff and his teammate Rise Ronaldo scored 69 points and officially secured their place in the World Cup finals. Within hours of the announcement, a pro player for Raised by Kings began posting a series of tweets accusing Ziff and his teammate of allegedly cheating their way to qualification by being fed kills from people they knew. Of course, you get points through a number of activities in a qualifier match, such as lasting long, winning the game, and especially getting eliminations. So therefore, he was accused of being fed points by people he was affiliated with. In a video posted to his Twitter on April 29th, High Sky showcased a clip from Ziff's game replays and showcased the peculiarities of a number of his kills, focusing on a specific player named Jesty. High Sky spectates one of the matches Ziff played and angrily points out flaws, which look scarily like 2 people were just feeding kills to Ziff and pretending to fight him. The players end up landing directly on Ziff and purposefully missing him, running around and pretending to run away from him. One of the players actually lands on Ziff and starts shooting at a brick wall before dying to him. After this video was tweeted, it went viral, with a ton of outlets and pro players speaking about it. Some evidence came out of the exact same player, Jesty, actually landing on Ziff's teammate Ronaldo in another game and feeding him a kill. At this point in time, the evidence against Ziff was overwhelming, and due to the sheer amount of damning clips and points, pro players across the Fortnite community showcased their anger and disappointment that a cheater qualified for the World Cup finals over more deserving pro players. As a result of the backlash, Epic Games decided to immediately launch an internal investigation into Ziff and Ronaldo. This is a pretty standard procedure. When FaZe Dubs was initially accused of using an aimbot and hacking, Epic Games did an investigation and discovered that the accusations were false, and that Dubs was not cheating, clearing his name in full. Ziff responded formally to the allegations and investigation, saying, "Yes, I know who Bad and Wuji is, but I also know half the people playing in the qualifiers. I'm bound to run into people that I know or have played against before." So yeah, he came right out and denied the allegations, even though the amount of evidence against him was pretty overwhelmingly sufficient. Ziff then went on to say, "Whatever Jesty did during the World Cup qualifiers and his actions have nothing to do with me. He's a 14-year-old who has seen me play at Toronto LAN. I'm 22 years old." And then he finishes off the response by saying, "I'm innocent and we'll leave it up to Epic Games to review the situation." I mean, that makes sense. Epic have cleared names in the past, of course, like Dubs, so if Ziff is innocent, we'll leave it up to Epic, he said himself. Well, in this instance, Epic Games came back on a blog post revealing that a group of players attempted to undermine the Week 3 Fortnite World Cup online open competition on April 28th by colluding across several matches. Yeah, they outright proclaimed that Ziff and his friends cheated in the tournament and confidently said that they colluded and undermined the competition. So what was the cheaters' punishment? Banned from the game? Removed from the tournament? Not really. Epic Games decided that the appropriate course of action against Ziff and Ronaldo was to ban all players involved from competitive play for only 14 days and disqualify them from their attempts in week 3 only. However, the players would be allowed to compete again once their suspension ended. A number of famous Fortnite content creators lashed out, with FaZe Cloak tweeting, "Cheating for $30 million 2-week ban. Come on, guys. Symphony admitted that the ban wasn't long, but said at least they did something. As a result of Ziff and Ronaldo's suspension, Misfits Clicks qualified in week 3 instead and secured a rightful place in the World Cup finals. Both Ziff and Ronaldo were removed from Rise Nation and no longer play for the team. So yeah, we can definitely conclude that yes, Ziff cheated. That's the official determination of an investigation by Epic Games. Ziff is a cheater. Cheater. You should not have done that. Stop cheating. To be honest, his suspension should have been the end of it all, and we could have looked past this and Ziff could have moved on with his career and worked to fix everything that was undone. Did that happen though? Not really. Ziff was unsuspended after 2 weeks and immediately began playing in the World Cup qualifiers once again, competing hard for that top spot and a place in the finals yet again. I mean, we can respect that. Someone who made a mistake and decided to step up and try earning a rightful place legitimately. And guess what? He actually did. Well, kinda. He kinda did. Ziff and Ronaldo both achieved the top spot and qualified for the World Cup finals for the second time in week 8 of qualifying. This was met with a ton of backlash and callouts at Epic, with a Polygon article being titled "Banned Fortnite Cheaters Make It Into $30 Million Tournament Anyway," and a Forbes article headlining "Fortnite's lax punishment just let banned cheaters qualify for the World Cup." Remember that coming in even last place at the finals will still give you $50,000 of prize money, and that's cheaters being guaranteed at least $50,000 for cheating. I mean, what if they win though? Seriously, Ziff could win $3 million. Even if they earn their spot legitimately, they still have won money from a tournament that they cheated in at first. No wonder people are mad. Dr. Lupo tweeted that a cheater qualifying for a $30 million tournament is a kick in the junk to the integrity of the Fortnite competitive community. Love or hate the game, this should be unanimously agreed upon. Lupo said that I feel for everyone who grinds their butts off to work on their gameplay, only to get pushed out of qualification NYC by that duo. He went further on to attack players during a Twitch live stream, saying,
"Here's what kills me is like they're good players. Why did they have to cheat in week 3? Why'd they cheat in week 3? We would all been cheering them on now. But nope, they had to fuck around."
Liquid Chap tweeted, 2 players banned for cheating are now qualified to compete. And even Tfue brought up the situation on his stream.
Listen, I don't think they've ever cheated. But I know where I'm landing the last week of duos, and that's at that crack chat, because there's a whole bunch of bots that just land there and just get free kills every week.
Obviously, he was being sarcastic. So naturally, a ton of skeptical pro players and Fortnite users went straight into Ziff's match history to look for any oddities and see exactly if he gained his second spot in the finals legitimately or not. A YouTuber named Zexy, I simply can't be arsed, tweeted out a video of one of Ziff's matches in which Ziff landed in the exact same pirate camp spot once again and was attacked by a player. Then that player's teammate lands on Ziff and just immediately begins pickaxing him and gets killed by him. It's quite a peculiar clip with so many questions surrounding it. I mean, why would the player swoop in to save his already down teammate? And when he had no items in his inventory, you only have 10 matches in World Cup qualifiers to get as many points as possible, so why waste one of them so easily? It's a very odd thing to watch, and it does bring up a lot of questions surrounding, once again, the legitimacy of Ziff's place in the finals. Of course, this is merely speculation, and no official internal investigation by Epic Games has revealed a conclusion as of yet, so it's not proven that Ziff did or did not cheat for a second time. But after all, the video isn't as damning as the actual evidence that led to Ziff's final suspension, but it's definitely intriguing to say the least. Speaking to Polygon, Ronaldo gave a statement saying, "Ziff and I felt it was unfair the first time we were banned. We served the sentence and came back to qualify. Everyone still wants to see us fall, which is fine because in NYC, we're going to win the final event. Haters going to hate." Ziff didn't make a formal statement regarding qualifying, but did tweet, "Y'all are reaching. See ya in NYC." So no Epic Games response as of yet, and only one piece of circumstantial evidence. There's no smoking gun in indicting Ziff as a 2-time World Cup cheater. However, that didn't stop the theories from going wild. Some Twitter users actually speculated that Ziff probably cheated on purpose to get dropped from Rise Nation so they don't take a percentage of his earnings from the World Cup finals, probably going off of the controversy pertaining to Tfue and FaZe Clan and all of that type of thing, and he qualified a second time. We don't personally believe that this theory is true. There would be no way of knowing that Epic Games wouldn't just permanently ban them from the game and ruin any chance of them competing in any Fortnite tournament ever again. And maybe this is what he's referring to when he says they're reaching, because I mean that's a bit of a reach, especially given the fact that, I mean, the Tfue thing just happened, so it's like, where'd you get your idea from? It would have been too high a risk. Although it's quite an interesting theory and a really mind-bogglingly entertaining way of looking at the situation. situation. It'd be pretty impressive if these guys set up an elaborate plan to get out of their contracts by making cheating blatantly obvious, but honestly, it's just too out of the box and just a tiny bit of a stretch. I mean, who knows though? As of publishing this video, Ziff and Ronaldo are still officially qualified to compete in the World Cup finals in July against a ton of other pro players, a lot of which are increasingly angry at the duo. They're probably some of the most controversial professional esports players of all time. It's a little upsetting that some of these people aren't really treating these guys like humans. Whether you think Ziff cheated for a second time or not, it's proven that he did cheat the first time. And personally, we think that esports has absolutely no room for anyone who willingly chooses to cheat in a tournament, especially when that much money is on the line. It's literally a crime, as you are scamming your way to a cash prize. We believe that anyone should be able to qualify for these big tournaments, especially one as massive as the World Cup. So cheaters pushing those who deserve a real chance out of the way is pretty awful. If you're caught cheating, you should be unable to qualify for that tournament, as it disgraces the hundreds of thousands trying to accomplish that fairly and legitimately and not resort to cheating. At the very least, I think you should be banned from playing competitively for a long amount of time, or at least an amount of time fit for what you actually did to cheat. People have been punished way more severely for way less than what Ziff and Ronaldo have done in the past. And I mean, during the fall skirmish, FaZe Clan's Funk Bomb was suspended from an entire tournament and lost all his already won cash prizes because he made a single call out using the official Fortnite stream to his teammate Nate Hill, who was also suspended, but temporarily. Funk Bomb was the one who reported himself to Epic Games and immediately apologized to the community for what he did. But the fact of the matter is that we are receiving far less punishment for an act that is of equal or even, in some people's opinions, greater offense. Meanwhile, Ziff and Ronaldo deny their initial first allegations and are proven to have cheated by Epic, and yet are only banned for 2 weeks and allowed to qualify again like nothing ever happened. During a DreamHack tournament, a player named Zacubus was banned permanently from ever playing Fortnite again because he spotted somebody he knew in a match and walked away from them instead of attacking them. It's wild how differently Ziff and Ronaldo were treated by Epic, and it's pretty insane to see them qualifying again. Esports has no place for cheaters, but make sure you let us know your thoughts and comments. And also click the annotation on screen if you'd like to see some huge changes coming to Fortnite very, very soon. But we're going to leave the discussion to you guys in the comments for what you think that kind of punishment should be for this type of cheating. And keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.